Drake.
I don't like what they did to Drake.
What you said?
May 15th.
All right, here we go. May 15th, we're going to get new Drake for the summer. For the ladies.
No collabs. Nobody on it. Nobody wants to.
Niggas no more.
YouTube. Shit. 3 weeks ago, we had J. Cole come out and say, yo, it was a whole campaign against Drake.
You're either Kendrick or you Drake. And you have to, you got to pick a side, boom, boom. And I felt like the nigga that was like disgusted both ways damn near. You know what I mean? So when you say, did it get out of hand? It's like, creatively, that's not my place to say.
Boosie just recently did an interview with Jason Lee. And when they asked him about Drake, Boosie got in his bag.
You were vocal about people not defending Drake in this annihilation of his, I mean, it's been an annihilation of his brand, of his music. I mean, how would you describe what you've seen with Kendrick and Drake?
I don't like what they did to Drake, bro. I don't, you know, I'm a fan of Kendrick, I'm a fan of Drake. But I don't like what all these artists, how they left this man hanging. You know, I since I've been home, I sit in prison and watch this man boost people's careers. Didn't have to do it. Didn't have to do it, bro. And for everybody to just look the other way, like,
where's Future at? They had a double album and a tour.
For everybody to just look the other way, like, so this nigga put money in a lot of people's pockets.
Right.
Like,
but how do you describe
what artists from the? I don't know what artists from the States has did that for other people in the States. Nobody. Like, I'm a Scorpio. I would be hurt if I was that nigga. I would be hurt. And the fucking pity the fool, the joke's on him if he go back to them niggas.
But you know he's going back.
Boosie crazy, son.
Pity the fool, the joke's on him if he go back to them niggas.
Nah, he will.
I think we got another Boosie quotable.
We got another one.
Bro. They part of the reason the bullet holes in your shirt smoke.
Wait, he wore that?
I saw the bullet hole smoke.
But the joke is still on him though, isn't it?
I don't know at this point because I mean he back number one. I mean everywhere I go I'm still hearing fucking Drake.
Right.
I mean I'm still hearing Drake. I mean
Oh man, you gotta love it, you guys. You gotta love when people make Drake out to be this victim who is just sitting quietly, minding his own business, and then was attacked by Kendrick Lamar and a whole bunch of other rappers. Like I told you guys earlier in the video, revisionist history at its finest. Everybody remembers drop. Why are you smoking on Kendrick? Members taunting Kendrick Lamar to put out a diss record. The man voluntarily engaged in a rap battle. None of his friends told him to do it. This was a battle Drake wanted to engage in himself. This was a battle that Drake thought he would actually win. And above all, this was a battle that Drake voluntarily got himself into. So why would you expect other artists to come fight his battles for him? And secondly, at the same time, you gotta ask yourself this one question. What did Drake do to those artists for them not to back him up? This was a...
He's doing it to their girls they like the most.
He wasn't doing it to their girl. We don't know. The one that they like the most.
Really?
Drake was taking a girl.
Right. Because you know, they all got a bunch of girls.
I guess.
But the one you like.
Yeah. The one you put a baby in, you seed it up.
Drake he got up all sensitive and shit. He's singing and shit.
Right. Slide him off and fly him out.
Shit. Here come Drake. They probably hated him the whole time.
Tuck your girl. Don't tuck your chain. Tuck your girl.
They probably hated him the whole time. He was like, this nigga. I'm so sick of this nigga.
I just beat my girl.
Right. Because they probably all do it, but Drake go for the one you like.
Allegedly. We don't know that, man.
He's still talking about Rihanna. He's still making little shots in the records about Rihanna and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So you think that's why ASAP ain't come to
I'm telling you, niggas don't like him. You know what a nigga like that come around, you like, this nigga, he trying to fuck all the bitches.
I don't be bucking off of that.
No, because you a grown fucking man.
True.
And you ain't tripping off of that. But when guys have a young, I don't want to call them little boys, but when they have that kind of a mentality, it's important to some dudes. It's very important.
I guess so.
His feelings be wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Because why else would they hate him? Especially if you've done records with him, y'all got money together. Like, why? Because there was a lot of not just not getting involved. It was a lot of people like actively, taking shots at him.
Yo, I was under the impression, and I'm just speaking for self, that because Drake was like a Disney kid or something and came into the rap game, and he got up underneath of the wing of Wayne,
right? And
then he just blew. The stardom came. Right. And when I say blew, I mean he soared like a rocket. But you talking about dudes is real MCs, real rappers. From understand, he got plenty of ghostwriters. He ain't just got one. He got a team of ghostwriters to write for him. And a lot of people don't think that that's fair.
But look,
so if I'm a genuine rapper, if I'm a dude and that's what I'm from, that pen. I'm from that pen, and I'm like, yo, how this dude selling out tours and shit, and man, I don't forget the girl. They just like, yo, I don't even like this dude.
I think that could be true for some of the older people that hated on him and shit, like when DMX was like, him, or when like
shout out to X,
the Ebros of the world and people like that. But I think his contemporary, like the people that actually rap around him, I think it got more to do with their girls, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because the whole thing about ghostwriting, they came out. Pusha T had a ghostwriter for some stuff.
Word. I had no idea, and I like Pusha T.
Drake finally gets revenge on Pusha T after almost a decade. If you guys don't know what's going on, Pusha T got exposed earlier this morning, and everybody is discussing it. This random Twitter page, along with other pages like Grand Wizard, Chat Ninja, and Academics TV, who has been pro Drake for a long time. They were able to get their hands on a 4-minute long audio of Quinton Miller reference tracks for some Pusha T songs. Crazy, right? And from my perspective, obviously Drake has something to do with this. Obviously, Drake is feeding this information, because how would these random pages get a hold of a Pusha T and Quinton Miller reference track ensemble, right? Now, the reference tracks that is a part of that audio, right, because obviously we can't play the full thing, or apparently a hook from an unreleased Pusha T track called Real Gone, supposedly from the Daytona session circa 2017 and 2018. There were 2 other tracks that are more unclear, but they are allegedly from a similar time frame. Now, the 2 other tracks people are saying isn't as bad as the first one, because those 2 other ones are apparently just hooks. The spirit of Masha and the beast in me. We can only...
So, from my personal opinion, if somebody's writing bars for you, that's ghostwriting. If somebody help you with a hook, I don't think that's ghostwriting. I wouldn't take that as ghostwriting. So you're doing a song, you're in the studio, and you do not know how long it takes to make a song. Some people could write a song right there on the spot. Some people might take them weeks to do one song. So if you got a joint, you hear the beat is fly, the joint is knocking, you laying down your lyrics, and boom, you're like, yo, I need a catchy hook. I need something that's going, that's catchy. And you sitting right there next to me, you like, son, say this or throw this on there. Like, nah, yo, you get on the mic and you do this and just put the hook in there. That's not ghostwriting to me if you help somebody with a hook. But if they're actually writing the song verbatim, like a whole track, or you got 16 bars, they wrote 8 bars, yeah, that's ghostwriting.
Apparently, the dude Quinton Miller does both.
Play about 3 seconds, obviously, because Rock Nation is looking for these videos to strike it. But Pusha T is word for word. Like the Quinton Miller reference track, Pusha T didn't change not a goddamn thing. He rehearsed it word for word. This is the pure definition of what a reference track really is. You wrote the hook and you wrote the verse. The spirit of Marshawn, the beast in me. But the entire verse, Pusha T rehearsed. Even, checks in the lobby, Pusha T said that as well. Real gonna come out, Pusha T says that as well. The entire verse was written by Quinton Miller, and there's multiple other examples of this. Am I shocked that Quinton Miller is writing for these other folks? I'm not one bit, no whatsoever. I think Pusha T even talked about this at some point. And even Drake alerted us, right, that Quinton Miller were writing for other people, and they threw him under the bus as a scapegoat.
Letting me take the rap for that goals. You niggas move too cold.
First off, nobody cares that Pusha T had ghostwriters. Nobody cares that Quinton Miller wrote for Pusha T, right? This is what people do not give a damn about.
Yeah, the old school dudes do.
Yeah, I do.
We do.
Yeah, because I'm a fan. And again, we come from an era where hip-hop is just that, originality.
And that's what I'm saying. If you can drop that, if that's not important no more, but it is important for you to be a criminal.
So, that's not. So you gotta differentiate the two.
Right. Like they don't care if you keep it real so far as you're right. You don't gotta be nice.
But shooting somebody in the street.
You better. It don't matter if you right or not.
Free Pusha T.
They're gonna move the goalposts, of course, because it's not Drake. See, I always thought the Drake situation was always odd to me. Because clearly Quinton Miller was working with multiple people in the industry. People was beating on Quinton Miller's door to work with him once they knew that Quinton Miller was the hit maker for Drake. So it's no secret that Quinton Miller had collaborations with a lot of other people. But the reason why this Drake stuff got taken out of proportion and got as big as it got was because a machine was behind it. Think about it for a second, right? Isn't it odd that whenever Drake is rapping about leaving the label, there's always something that pops up? Whenever Drake gets in his mode and start rapping about, hey man, you know, I got one album left, then they're gonna have to drop the bag. In 2015, when Drake was rapping about he's about to go independent, this the last one he's turning in, the Meek Mill tweet went out, the beef happened. In 2018, when Pusha T dissed Drake, you know what happened in 2018? Drake was about to get off the label. He had one album left. In 2024, Drake was about to get off the label. He had already recouped. And he was about to ask for like $1 billion or something crazy. So, of course, I'm not shocked that Quinton Miller worked with other people. The only reason why people even care that Quinton Miller worked with Drake is because the machine pushed it heavy. Even though I don't think this is too much of a big deal, or I don't feel like the public would treat this like a big deal, other content creators like What's the Dirt and Academics ran to their streams to discuss this and point out the hypocrisy between how people is treating Pusha T and how people once treated Drake.
There's just no way that Pusha T, of all people, King Push, the Clips, album of the year, Push.
Last person you would have thought. Last person.
I would have. And I like Pusha T.
Yeah, I like Pusha T.
I ain't even gonna front.
Actually, it turns out you like Quinton Miller.
All people got ghostwriting allegations, and you're not gonna believe who was with.
Knew that I would be what I became.
You're not gonna believe who was with.
You can't make this up, bro. It's Quinton Miller. I guarantee he's very artist, because if he's not artist, he has no shame. Now I got me looking back at his discography and thinking, like, did he write any of this? Like, Lord willing, I had that poster on my bedroom wall as a kid.
But my mama could see.
No, cut
I used to write.
it off. I could tell right away that that's Quentin's pen. That's Quentin's pen.
You wonder why that album was so fire? Fire. Shout out to Quinton Miller. Anyway, next story. Mic check.
1, 2.
All right.